Palestine.
It fucks him up. I thought he's blind. I don't know how he fucking even knows I'm in the room. Plus, he said he got arrested the other day, so I don't understand. How does a blind guy get arrested?
What the fuck is Israel? Oh my god. So,
Muslim 100%.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. So, they even fired that Muslim guy, right? That the Palestinian in the Knesset. What was his name? Omar Dosri.
Asking me?
No, I'm just reading the news. I was just saying, you know, they even fired the guy. Remember the Muslim? I don't know. You heard about it? RJ, the Muslim brother, Omar Dosri in the Knesset. The Netanyahu fired Omar Dosri because, you know, apparently he was showing support for the other side. What's up with you, Alma? How you doing? You good?
Good morning, Baruch Hashem. I have breaking news.
What do you got?
So the sheikhs of Hebron want to separate from Hamas and the Palestinian Authority and join the Abraham Accords and create their own little canton in Hebron. It's just
Only the Hebron? Are they being forced into doing that?
No, not at all. They've been coming into Israel. In fact, the minister entertained them in their home. And it's just the 12 sheikhs of Hebron. It's kind of great because there's beautiful Jewish historical religious sites in Hebron. You probably know the cave of the patriarchs, as we call them, the mamas and the papas. That's just a popular term.
Mamas and the papas?
The mamas and the papas, the caves of the patriarchs and matriarchs. And there's a beautiful, you like that? There's a beautiful Jewish community there, and the sheikhs are saying they want to live in peace and join the Abraham Accords. I think Syria might join the Abraham Accords. Like Trump is bringing, and Israel, of course, and Bibi are bringing a new peace to the region. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, but my question to you, he's coming to the DC, right? He's coming to DC.
Yeah, a couple days.
He doesn't want the PA as well, controlling Gaza. So what does he want?
Right. You know, I don't know.
He doesn't want Hamas. He doesn't want PA. Who the fuck is going to be controlling Gaza?
Well, we don't use curses very much, to be honest, Amir Baba. But we're going to have to... I don't know the answer to that. We know who doesn't work. We know that they don't like... The PA and Hamas don't get along anyway.
You think the ISIS, the angle run Gaza?
You mean Abu Shaban?
Yeah, that guy is given weapons by Netanyahu. Netanyahu gave him weapons.
Yeah, but he's not in ISIS.
Yeah, he's part of the ISIS. Is he going to be running this from Gaza?
I think, no, what it said was that allegedly, before he went to prison, he had links to them, but there's no evidence of it.
No, it was on the same article that I posted. It was at the bottom.
Yeah, it said allegedly he had links.
And not allegedly. It said he did.
That's what it said. Allegedly,
it has connection directly with ISIS. My question to you... No, he did not. He did not say it. He did not
allegedly. I'm quoting the article. I read a lot of articles about him, by the way.
Let me put the article in the chat again.
Definitely. Put all the articles in, not just one. And there wasn't any evidence. These are just allegations. But anyway, let's move on. So that Abu Shaban group, well, I don't know. They are there to, they're Palestinian or Arab or whatever you want to call it.
Let's read that article. Hold on, let me,
yeah, I have articles too, Amir. In any event, I don't know. I don't think those guys are big enough to control.
Okay. The Israeli government is giving weapons to a group of criminals and felons identified with Islamic State at the direction of Prime Minister Lieberman. Charge. This is your Knesset member.
Well, again, he didn't offer any evidence, and
but read the article.
Look them up. Well,
but you lied about this one. No, but you lied about this one.
Who lied about this one?
You lied about this one. You said it didn't mention. It mentioned allegedly.
Amir.
It doesn't say allegedly.
talk about Hebron, Amir. I'll bring you up allegedly.
No, but in this article, it doesn't say allegedly.
Maybe I read a different article.
Yeah. So you see, your information is wrong.
No, my information isn't wrong. I think
your information is wrong.
So you want me to paste it in the chat? Yasser,
I put the link in the chat.
What's that?
Yeah. He's a Pharisee. He was locked up under Hamas. Hamas kept him locked up until you guys blew up the fucking prison.
I'm just gonna tell this one. Put the link in the chat.
And then he gave him the weapons to steal the aid. As simple as that.
He's protecting the aid.
He's not protecting. He's stealing the aid and selling it in black market for triple the amount of money.
Put it in the chat.
Israeli-backed anti-Hamas army group. That's ISIS. That's ISIS.
Look at what I'm.
Okay. You support ISIS? Do you support? No. That's not. The Times of Israel report something else. I go based on Times of Israel normal. Times of Israel. I do not go based. I'm not going to go based on the Propali sources. You're going based on the Propali.
Take a breath.
Lamon, you're going off of pro-terrorist sources. I'm going based off your pro-Israeli democratic sources. I'm going based off. I don't use AI. I'm using pro-Israeli sources. Times of Israel. You're being anti-Semitic. ChatGPT said it's genocide.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah, you're anti-Semitic. Yes, you're anti-Semitic. You're using ChatGPT. ChatGPT says it's genocide in Gaza.
I do use ChatGPT.
You don't believe in ChatGPT?
No, I use ChatGPT. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But let's talk about the shit.
Yeah, but it says it's anti-Semitic.
Okay. Do you like the Abraham Accords?
Do you like the Times of Israel article that says it's ISIS?
I already told you that.
Are you okay? So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a normal here. He supports ISIS. He supports ISIS. And he lives in America.
Okay,
Everybody heard him.
When you're done, Amir.
Everybody heard El Normo supporting ISIS. Netanyahu giving weapons to ISIS. Disgusting.
No, I didn't say
ISIS is a terrorist. ISIS is a terrorist entity according to the American government, according to Zionist entity, according to the government.
Gaza right now?
Yes. I told you.
Is there any evidence?
Shut up.
Is there any
Times of
evidence?
Israel. Did you read the article? Did you read the Times of Israel article?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
What did it say? What did it say?
It said linked, according to Lieberman. So that's one person making an allegation.
Okay. Identified, not linked. Identified. It doesn't say linked. It says identified.
Uh-huh.
You need to correct your statements. You can't. Yeah, this Lieberman is a government official.
I think
he was a government official.
And he made an allegation with no evidence. So now we got evidence. That's how reality.
Netanyahu came out at the same article. Netanyahu came out. He did not deny it. Did you read the article? Oh, yeah. In the same article, he did not deny the claim. He did not deny giving. Hold on. He did not deny giving weapons to ISIS.
Well, no, that's because you don't deny something that didn't happen. Why would you deny something that didn't happen?
He did. It says in there. Read it.
It says what and where?
It says in the same article. It talks about
one person making an allegation without evidence.
Lieberman made charges. I mean, when he made a statement about that,
He made an allegation.
Yes. Netanyahu did not deny the allegation. In fact, he came out and he said, "Yes, we support. We support all factions that are fighting against Hamas." Go read up on it. Go read this article. I think you're just an idiot.
No, you're the idiot. I read the article.
Instead of lying, coming up here, I go based on data. Instead of bullshit, man. You go based on fucking bullshit.
You're not gonna let me talk.
Yeah, you're just a bullshitter.
No, I'm not. The information I have is that they are part of the Palestinian Authority, by the way.
Read the article.
I did.
No, you did not.
I did.
You came up allegedly. It doesn't say fucking allegedly. It doesn't say allegedly. Where the fuck did it say allegedly?
I put it in the chat. Want me to read it out loud? Okay.
I'm not going based on your stupid AI bullshit. I'm going based on Times of Israel.
Why is it stupid AI bullshit?
Because the Times of Israel is a Jewish source. It's owned by Israeli. Okay?
Yeah. And it posted an allegation by one man.
ChatGPT is you're anti-Semitic because ChatGPT said it's genocide in Gaza. You don't believe it's God, it's genocide in Gaza. Why the fuck do you use ChatGPT?
It posted one man out. You don't usually.
It's a fucking government official. What do you expect?
Is he a Zionist?
ChatGPT is a Zionist.
No. Is the person that's quoted?
Lieberman is charged. Yes, he's a
Is
Zionist.
he a Zionist? Wait, he's a Zionist, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do you believe all Zionists or only some?
What do you mean believe? I don't believe in any Zionist, but he is a
Do you
Zionist.
believe the allegations of all Zionists are only some?
I believe in the allegation that came out of your Knesset member. I believe him that he's telling the
Why
truth.
do you believe it? Why? Why do you believe that? Did you see any evidence?
Yes.
Well, okay,
That
what evidence?
testimony, Netanyahu not denying the allegation, that proves it. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so you feel that if somebody doesn't deny a falsehood, that makes the falsehood true?
No, Netanyahu said we are giving weapons to the opposite faction, to the opposite of Hamas, and that they can topple Hamas.
But
Anybody
he
that goes
doesn't
after
say
Hamas.
that he doesn't say that they're an ISIS.
It says it. Read it. It's an Islamic State.
No, Netanyahu doesn't say that.
But Netanyahu doesn't say it because it came out and he didn't deny it.
So it's irrelevant. It's one person's charge.
Oh my God, what's up, Shape? Anybody want to come on up? I think
Let's talk about the breaking news instead of nonsense.
Wait, Normal, you said that you used that logic against Amir about if you believe one Zionist, whatever, then why don't you not believe others?
I didn't use it against him. I asked him a question. Do you believe all Zionists? And obviously his answer is no. So then I said, well, why do you believe this one? Have you seen any evidence? Hang on. Have you seen any evidence? And the answer again is no. This tells me that he picks and chooses whatever he can to support whatever.
If it's posted times of Israel, I'll believe it. If it's posted times of Israel.
There is
I know how a
evidence.
newspaper works. Hang on.
Yes, I know how the newspaper works.
The newspaper quoted one fellow. That's all. There's no
Hey, what's up, Edward? Edward is denying the fact. He said, he came up, he goes, it says allegedly Netanyahu gave weapons to ISIS. The fucking article says that they did give weapons to fucking ISIS. Islamic State.
It doesn't say gave weapons to ISIS.
Yes,
It gave weapons to somebody allegedly linked to ISIS. Again, there's no evidence.
Not any better.
But it is better because
Yes, please allow Shane to speak now. Thank you.
Hold on one second. I brought news. So I brought news from Hebron.
Shane is speaking.
Did you
Okay, Norm, we'll cover that. I want to cover that too. So hold on, let's shoot.
There's a chance of Hebron want to join
Hang on,
Norm, let's Shane talk. We'll cover
Wait,
it.
well,
Shane talk.
I want to
We're gonna
hear
cover
this.
that. Oh, that's Shane
Let's
talk.
see.
A couple questions for
Okay,
you.
I want to hear from Dave as
Do
well.
you believe in a free Palestinian autonomous state
Yeah, of
drawn
course.
on the 1967 borders?
Who are you
Yes.
Amir.
For starters, yes.
Amir, you
Of
believe,
Amir?
let me get this
Oh,
straight.
he's a Zionist.
Amir,
Amir
yes,
is
you're
a Zionist.
Yes, yes.
That doesn't make
Thank
me
you, Amir. Welcome to.
I don't agree. I do not agree.
In other
You are
words,
most welcome.
believing in a free Palestinian state is Zionism.
No, not
Yeah,
until.
not really. No.
Hold
I
on.
think you're wrong here, sir.
No, I'm just, you said you believe in a free Palestinian state where they self-govern and have full autonomy.
Yeah.
Drawn to the 1967 borders, you said yes?
Yes.
And Al Normal said you're
Yep.
Zionist.
That is true.
We have a new, I want everyone to know
We got a
this.
validation from our Lord.
I want everyone to know this. There's a new definition of Zionism.
No, you don't agree with that, Shane.
No, I actually, I'm okay with that.
No.
I'm a shapeshifter. I'll take any definition.
Wait, but no, you are also an engineer, and you know logic, and you know that that is not correct, because a Palestinian state would have to first be created.
Look,
Right?
I'm at risk
What?
for being on this, I'm at grave risk with agreeing with Al Normal, but I would still do it. So,
Well,
I've always
you're
said,
from Lebanon. You have to go with
Let
number
him agree with you, Norm. You can't even stop talking.
I agree.
Norm, don't talk past the sale.
He just
Norm,
can't
don't
shut up.
talk.
That's the problem.
I'm not selling.
You've heard the saying.
Norman Green, shut up, man.
Don't talk past the sale.
Shape will take the deal that's offered to him because he has no choice, because he's from Lebanon. And that's great. We're glad
You see, Shavy's coming for you.
I've always said that I do not believe in the destruction of Israel. I've always said that. I've always been okay with there being a nation called Israel. But Norm is
Well, I
now
think it's
steelmanning
illegal.
my position.
It's illegal to believe in the destruction of Israel, as far as I know, in this country, I believe. I could be wrong.
I mean, that's
What about dismantling
that's an
Israel?
interesting.
Yeah.
I do not believe in
Dismantling.
dismantling. No.
Yeah.
I do not believe in
Why
dismantling.
can't they not live together side by side like they
We
did
can.
in the 1947?
Norm
We
is
do.
steelmanning me now, and he's saying for you to be a true Zionist, you must also believe in a free Palestinian autonomous state.
Oh, no, that's not what I said.
That's he's steelmanning Zionism.
No, you're
Pay attention.
misrepresenting. You're misrepresenting what I said. When I said that if Amir believes in a state of Israel, regardless of the boundaries,
Don't
then
believe in state of Israel. Believe in whatever state you want to call it.
you want to change your opinion?
Because it's blasphemous to call it Israel from a Muslim paradigm.
You want to change your opinion?
Israel is the name of the prophet, peace and blessing upon him. The amount of corruption that you guys are doing on that land, oh my
Yes.
God, it's disgusting.
Yes, almost as disgusting as what Hamas does, right?
Nope, it's you guys. You fucking disgusting as fuck. You got the largest fucking rally, the LGBTQ rally in fucking Middle East. Who does that?
So what you wait, Amir,
And then you got atheist fucking secular motherfuckers running around the show committing crimes against humanity.
Amir, do they mention rallies in the Quran? Because I haven't read the Quran. Do they mention
No.
rallies?
It's against the LGBT promoting. It's against promoting LGBT bullshit. It's against promoting LGBT bullshit. This is a problem with that normal.
It was a yes or a no, Amir. Is there mention of rallies in the Holy Quran? Did they teach you this?
Is there mention of stoning the gays in the Torah?
Okay.
Is there mention of stoning the gays in the Torah?
So you haven't read the Quran?
You see? You haven't read the Torah.
I asked you a question, and you answered it with a question, meaning you don't know the answer.
You haven't read the Torah.
Those normal.
No, I'll tell you what.
Those normal.
I tell you what.
You fucking kind of.
I tell you
Shut
what.
the fuck up.
Come down with the racist like, come on.
I'll answer your question right after you answer mine. Is that fair? I asked first, and I only think it's fair. All right, Amir Baba? You asked me, I asked you my question. Do they mention rallies in the Quran, Amir Baba? And remember, I'm going to answer your question next. Amir Baba, did they teach
You answer my question first, and they teach you anywhere about the religion. They teach you about it. It's against the law. It's against the Sharia law. It's against the Sharia. Calm down,
Amir
calm
Baba,
down.
remember, I'm going to answer your question, so don't be nervous. In your Holy Quran, do they teach about rallies? Do they teach us anything about rallies, especially in Israel? In your Quran, Amir. Remember, I'm going to ask you a question.
Israel, this country called Israel is not mentioned.
Ah, okay. So then there's no law in the Quran against rallies in Israel, is there?
No. The LGBTQ, anything to promote LGBTQ, from getting involved in gay, this is all haram. This goes against the scripture.
Do they mention LGBTQ in the Holy Quran, according to your Midrash?
Okay, what is LGBTQ? Can you please elaborate? Can you tell us what does L stand for? What does G stand for? Go on, tell us.
Amir, I'm going to answer your question next.
Okay, that's white man.
Amir, so the answer is no, right?
There's one problem. The letter Q does not exist in Arabic, so that would be a
Yeah.
problem.
So Amir, remember, I'm going to answer your question. So just to be clear, you've answered mine. There is no mention of rallies in Israel in the Holy Quran. You said no. Now go ahead, ask me your question, and I'll answer it happily about the Torah.
Yeah, so can you stone the gay according to the Torah?
That is not what it says in the Torah, sir.
So you're not supposed to stay in the gays?
Would you like me to tell you what it does say in the Torah, Amir Baba?
No.
I'm happy to tell you.
You don't know shit.
What does it say, Lord? What does it say?
I will tell you exactly what it says. Are you ready? It's in Leviticus.
Let me get ready. Hang on.
Okay, are you sitting down? You had your water?
Yeah, hang on. Give me a second. Let me drink some.
Okay, everyone cross your legs.
Let me go sit on my toilet. Give me a second.
Story time.
Okay.
Come on, everyone cross your
We
legs.
don't talk Torah. You have to excuse yourself if you're on the toilet. We don't talk Torah.
No. If you're gonna talk, let me at least be taking a shit, doing something,
Calm down.
Lord, how can a shit take a shit, Lord? That's not possible.
Okay, everyone cross your legs, crisscross after.
How can you?
Story time.
How can you smell things with that fat ass nose of yours? Why haven't you went to the dermatologist and worked your nose?
A little note on logic, Lord. A shit cannot take a shit.
I'm without normal on that one, and no racist.
A bumpy nose needs to go see the dermatologist, you motherfucker.
Amir,
Anyways,
limited free speech.
let's
Birthday is that a man should not lie with another man as he would with a woman.
But the Talmud
For
says
that
that you can.
Hang on, remember.
hang on, bro. We're not
Time for you to flush, Lord.
not here to mock anybody's religion. We're having a conversation, even though he's an idiot. Abnormal is an idiot.
Well,
Calm down, bro. Change your name to something else. Don't change your name to Lord. That's blasphemy.
So, you will not lie with a man as you would with a woman because it is an abomination in my sight. Yeah? You're familiar with that?
Promoting the LGBTQ.
No, leave the Torah. Amir.
I'm not talking about Torah. I'm talking about, can you promote this act of gay? Can you promote this act of gay? Can you promote it?
Amir, don't.
Can you promote this act of gay?
We can discuss that.
This guy is such an idiot.
Discuss that. But first I want to read you the straight Torah so that you understand it. Did you understand everything so far? You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination.
Verse are you reading?
That's
So I
fine.
can follow along. Which verse are you reading? Just so I can follow along. I'm on Leviticus 20:13.
Well, for us it's 1822.
There's two different mentions.
Yeah, the 2013 as well. I was on the first one.
Okay, all right.
Now, how do we adjudicate that? Well, because we believe in courts of justice, in the Ten Commandments, Amir. Now, hopefully you abide by the Ten Commandments. I think in your madrasa.
Well, what is the punishment if somebody does, lay down with the men?
Put to death.
Put to death. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So is it happening inside Israel? Is it happening inside Israel?
Hang on. I don't know. I'm not going to
It's not happening. That's not happening.
Amir, just calm.
It's a secular state.
Question.
No. We're actually diving into it now. I'm not afraid. I'm diving into it. We're having a conversation back and
Okay,
forth.
if you're not afraid, then stop interrupting me. I'll let you know.
I'm not interrupting. I'm going back and
You are
forth.
interrupting. I'll let you know when I'm
Wow.
done. Now, we have courts of justice. That's one of the Ten Commandments, Amir Baba. So if you want to charge somebody with something and punish them, you must prove it in a court of law. You should know that if you believe in justice.
Yeah, but they don't do that inside Israel. You can shoot the man. You don't do that.
Wrong.
No, right.
Charge somebody with a crime, you must have a witness. Actually, it must be two witnesses. They must be warned that it was wrong, and they must be brought to the Beit Din. That is the law of the Torah.
Are they going to kill him?
That's better than the military court in Israel.
Amir Baba.
Are they going to kill him? According to the Torah, he should be killed, right?
Okay. So according to the Torah, if this happens, that would be the punishment.
Yes, according to the Torah, but they don't practice it. They do not practice this law. They do not practice this inside Israel. They do not do that.
Well, please, okay, now show me the evidence that two witnesses, hang on. Amir Baba, show me the evidence that two witnesses brought a man to a court, charging him with sleeping with a man as he would with a woman or laying with them, and that the court did not exact this penalty. Please show us the evidence that they did not.
You made a claim. If the person, if the guy sleeps with the same gender, that should be put to death. That's
No, I didn't say same gender. You gotta be very careful with
So
your
if the guy is fucking another guy, What should he be stoned?
Amir, once again, if a man lies with another man, as he would with a woman, it is an abomination.
Okay, what is the punishment for it?
Listen. First, you must have a court of justice. You left out the justice part. Maybe this is the problem with Islam.
I understand. No, we do. We have a Sharia judge.
You do have it. Okay. Do you require two witnesses the way we do, copying us?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So you've copied us. That's
No,
fantastic.
we didn't copy you.
So this is well, sure you do. We came first, obviously.
No,
So
that's
you
what you
are
think.
well, no, that's what it.
We have more than two witnesses, but what we
Yeah.
use are willing to lie.
Oh, well, it sounds like you're the liar in this case, though. See?
No, but, sir, aren't you supposed to stone the gay? Okay,
You shit, and then he wants to call me.
Okay.
Alnormal, what is the punishment for, sleeping with the same gender according to the Torah?
Dude, a charge
You don't have to.
Dude, a charge of homosexuality cannot be brought in an Israeli court because homosexuality is legal in Israel.
There you go. That's it. Simple as that. That's where I was.
Where is the evidence that it has been brought to a court and that the justice has not been?
How would it be bring to a court? How would it be brought to a court if it's legal?
Do you know what a rabbinical court is?
I understand what a rabbinical court is.
Oh, so has it been brought to a rabbinical court?
As far as I know, there aren't rabbinical courts in Israel that have any
Well,
kind
as
of
far as you
jurisdiction.
know is wrong. There are many rabbinical courts in
That have jurisdiction over people
Absolutely.
that supersedes. Hold on. That supersedes the state.
They are separate from the state.
Do they supersede the state? If the state says one thing and the rabbinical court says something else, who has authority over the other? The civil
On this
institutions have the civil institutions have authority over the rabbinical courts. So whatever the rabbinical courts adjudicate will be completely.
1 minute ago, you had no idea that there
To
was
the state of Israel.
1 minute ago, you
No, you didn't hear me. No, you didn't. No, you didn't let me
You
finish.
asked me if you said there were no rabbinical courts.
No, that's not what I said. I said there are no. No, I didn't say that. You interrupted me, and that's why. No, you interrupted me, and that's why. Normal, you interrupted me. No, because you interrupted me. What my question was: are there rabbinical
Your
courts?
victim card, Benny Adam. You want me to give you a...
If you interrupt me before I finish speaking, you're not going to get the full understanding of what I said. What I was saying is, there are no rabbinical courts in Israel whose authority supersede that of the state. So it doesn't matter. So you can't bring a claim which is legal in state law into a rabbinical court. Because rabbinical courts don't have authority over the state. The state have authority over the rabbinical courts.
Benny, who asked me a minute ago if there were rabbinical courts in Israel after stating conclusively that they were not used, Benny Adam. So just admit that you're talking about. Just admit that you're ignorant.
The guy is just stupid, bro. If you interrupt somebody before, yeah.
I know.
If you interrupt somebody before they finish speaking, obviously you're not gonna get, dude.
You're
Obviously,
lying now, Benny Adam. Now you have to.
My God. This guy's retarded, man. Why do you even let this guy up on stage? Like, really, a conversation with him is completely foolish.
I turned off the hand raising, right? So that way I don't have to bring people out. They can come up on their own. And he comes up. I'm like, well, how the fuck?
Really, like, Al Momo was like the worst person to speak to.
It gave me a headache, man. It gave me a headache. Well, anyways, Edward, did you want to say something? Anybody else want to chime in? This criminal terrorist is coming to the DC,
That was hilarious.
and he wants a mass out. He doesn't want the PA to control Gaza. What's the plan here? Is he going to allow the ISIS gang
Who are you talking about?
Gaza?
Yeah. Go ahead. Repeat what you said.
As part of the ceasefire deal, right? He doesn't want Hamas there. He doesn't want the PA to control Gaza. Does he want the ISIS to control Gaza?
Yeah, that way he can invade again in like 10 years.
And Hamas has been asking for permanent, not fucking temporary ceasefire, and he denied it.
Yeah, he's denying it, and he's, he's. I'm not sure what it is though. I think it's going to be permanent.
They're actually gonna attack Yemen, by the way. They just put it out that they're gonna attack them.
There is some pressing news though. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. That's pretty disturbing in my opinion. I don't know if you've seen this. I'll put it in the chat right now.
Look at this Black Stem character, right? They put the article in the chat. They allowed only, what was it, 10 or 20,000 people into Israel or something for work.
All right, so there. If you guys read that.
So, this is what I don't know. Was like about 20 shakes or
Yes,
30 shakes
yes.
or something.
I think it's 5. Is it 20? Maybe it's 20. But they want to make Hebron a nation, like a city-state. Basically divide the West Bank. I think that might be the ultimate Netanyahu plan.
So these sheikhs, they don't have a problem with occupation?
No, what they're saying is, we will normalize relations with Israel and become our own city-state, our own nation, and we will recognize Israel's right to exist, and Israel will recognize us, and we won't, participate in terrorism. They want to have economic ties with Israel. They want to set up an economic zone, and they'll be separate from the Palestinians in the West Bank. It'll be its own, kind of like a Singapore, its own city, its own rights, and it would be legitimate. Now,
Do you think it would be kind of like the UAE?
no. Well, no, because
United Arab Emirates, like a collection of emirates.
well, the problem is,
No, it's disunited. That's kind of the point.
What
yeah,
they're basically doing is
So they want to be number one, I think.
they're getting some warlords. They're getting some warlords to rule over cities in the West Bank, and basically those warlords are usually people who are business people, and they've been in a long, business relationship with Israel. And eventually they will have to get rid of the PA, and they're gonna say, here's a state, see, we recognize the state, here's a state in Hebron, here's another state in other cities, and so on and so forth.
exactly. And what's between those states? Israel. It's not like the Emirates.
So there are some people who are really coming out saying we're gonna have some Palestinian powerful warlords or business kings coming out already saying, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna recognize Israel, we're gonna recognize us pretty much, right?
This is very simple. This is divide and conquer.
It is.
Really to
Yeah, that's a pretty simple thing that colonial power always used in the past.
Yeah, that deal should be rejected wholeheartedly.
Well, number one, there is a hurdle here, a huge one. Hebron can't do this anyways because this is, the West Bank is Palestinian land, and it would have to be recognized by the United Nations, and that would mean that the United Nations would go against its own multiple rulings that the West Bank belongs to the Palestinians. So, making a city-state autonomous out of the West Bank, just legally would be a major hurdle. On top of that, now, if the PA was smart, which they are not, they would ask to join the Abraham Accords, and they would commit to exactly what Hebron is doing right now, and putting the onus or the responsibility on Israel, saying, we are ready, and we are ready to recognize Israel. We are ready to engage in diplomatic, talks to build a Palestinian state, but they haven't done any of that, and Hebron has, unfortunately.
But sorry, if they do that though, wouldn't that legitimize the Balfour Agreement and the original fuckery?
Well, no, that's already been legitimized. It's just a matter of, it wouldn't make any difference there. What it would do is set a precedent for Israel and public opinion, and where, okay, well, it worked well in Hebron. Let's see if we can't make it work in Ramallah.
Yeah.
And make Ramallah a city state,
Yeah,
and then make Jericho the same. Go
By
ahead.
the way, there was a report I read 2 days ago trying to do the same thing, something similar in Tripoli in Lebanon.
Interesting.
They're trying to get Julani to broker some deal where he gets some control over Tripoli as like a proxy city-state allied to Syria in return for some of the Golan Heights. So they're cooking something here, which is kind of potentially very sinister.
This is a very, very, very dangerous escalation against Palestinians and the Palestinian state. This is a massive threat because it has, I'm not saying it will, but it does have the potential to change people's, world opinion and also the opinions of world leaders to say, oh, this is reasonable, without recognizing the fact.
We tried that in the past, but it never worked.
They did, but not so overt.
Well, Hamas
Right.
is an example of it working, right? They're trying
No,
to
they had that thing going on in the 80s, and they had some people who were, running things and trying to run things, but they were just chased out of town. It never worked.
So
And whoever steps up and says, "Hey, I want to run the city. I'm gonna be the boss of this town," listen, they usually don't last that long if they are, not substantial. If they're not, they usually are easily run out of town. No big deal. It doesn't work. It's not gonna work.
Jakob, you want to say something?
Yeah, so who do you think started this? Do you think this came?
Hebron. Hebron and Israel. I forgot what I read. The Minister of Economy.
Why are we
Okay, but do you think it was, hey, write a letter to us, or it started from them?
I think it started from people in Hebron. Hebron, they were thinking, and these are clans, and they're thinking, okay, we can do this, and we can get our own city-state where we are in charge, and we can make lots of money, and we don't have to be.
Different, and I think it's the only city in the West Bank that's split between the control areas.
No, you'll find that the control A, B, and C is sort of like spaghetti, and
Right, but it doesn't split down. 80% of Hebron is under. 80% is under the PA, and 20% is under Israel.
You see what's happening here. This is a very obvious distraction, right? They want to shift the conversation to this Hebron distraction instead of what's actually in the interest of the Palestinian people, which is a free, autonomous, and somewhat, reasonable state that can stand on its own. So now let's start, throwing some noise in here, some distraction in here, because heaven forbid we allow the Palestinians a form of contiguous autonomy.
And the key word is contiguous, and that's what I think Israel's trying to stay away from. Like India said, they tried this.
If I'm an idiot here sitting in Canada and I can see that the good, smart people of Palestine can see right through this nonsense.
Yeah, but if Israel gives it legitimacy and says, "Oh, we're doing this with Hebron,"
What are we talking about Iran? Are we talking about the
How much legitimacy can they get with like a couple of thousand?
when they want to make the Iran a rival city-state?
Yes.
Okay, that's just bullshit.
This
The
become
whole tribe came out
radicalized.
against it, and the tribe in Iran came out against it.
Did they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he even said he doesn't even live in Iran. They don't know where he is.
Yeah, really, the problem is that they don't realize the Palestinians aren't stupid. It's not a move.
They said we follow the PA, we're under the PA.
Well, that's a relief.
Actually, some of them said, fuck the PA, we don't recognize the PA, and sometimes I don't blame them saying, fuck the PA, they don't do anything. They have no authority over us.
Yeah, but okay, it's not the PA, but the same extent they have to leave the PA.
I told you, they tried this thing before with, what is it called, villages, I can't remember the name of the activity they set up. Robert and Kura are like a town. Yeah, so they set that up in the 80s.
That was a long time ago.
So, Jindip, with these sheikhs, what do you think what would happen to these sheikhs that came out of their way, right, without asking the rest of the Palestinians, coming out and, announcing this bullshit?
What do you think is going to happen to them? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. What will happen?
Yeah, some of them are powerful clan leaders whose main concern is always money and business. So they need a lot of money. They are connected to the Israeli business system, and they are very close to, in terms of the border with Israel 1948.
Do you call them, in Lebanon we use the term Zama. You call them the same thing?
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, the people in Hebron are not gonna just take this lightly and just take it and lay it down. And I don't see. But the thing is, if there is an absence of any authority other than the PA, which the PA, has been extremely inefficient. They are marginalized. They don't do anything. They haven't done anything. And the ultimate goal of Israel is to get rid of the PA. And they want to try, there's a balloon trial for Hebron, and maybe they're going to move on to other cities saying, they're like kind of warlords who start controlling cities and towns.
Yeah.
It does not work. It's not going to work. Palestinians are not going to go for, some compromised piece of shit character to come and say, hey, I'm ruling you. But who gave you the authority to rule over me?
Yeah, in Lebanon.
I know, but
I don't know, you don't represent
What you have
In as much
Go ahead, sorry.
in as much as the PA does not represent Palestinians, I mean, who's Abbas is just a
Well, President said that this guy is they're in hiding now, or they're.
No, those are very well-known people. They're very well-known, they're powerful, they have a lot of money. And they control, the business aspects of the town. And some of the names are very well-known names.
Or they rejected it and said that that's just.
They're like the Lebanese version of Walid Jumblat and
Not even. Walid Jumblat has a base, he has his people. It's like more like Jaja.
How the Zahra, they're basically mafia bosses. That's it.
Pretty much.
Now, and the reason it works in Lebanon is because we got caught up in our own religions.
so lazy.
But in Palestine, it's less, inshallah, it's less divided. You guys should take it from the Lebanese who we felt for this trap until we got our act together.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up trap, I know.
Yeah, we had something that quasi-worked. We called it the Cedar Revolution. We all agreed we need Syria the fuck out of our country. You guys need to have a Palestinian revolution. And every Palestinian village needs to lock arms with one voice and say we with one representation and not fall prey to this bullshit.
Look, we are an orphan nation, pretty much those days. We're pretty much orphan. And things are not going our way in any way, shape, or form. Things are pretty fucked up. I mean, totally fucked up. But this line of stuff usually, it is the jump started. It goes on for a year, 2 years, then it kind of implodes. Those kinds of stuff. It does. It always does. If I were Abbas, of course Abbas is Abbas, he is supposed to say, just throw the fucking key out, get the fuck out of that office you're sitting and say, I don't want to be anymore, I don't want any PA anymore. Let the occupation take its responsibility. We'd like to be occupied like militarily. We don't want the Israelis to say, hey, you have a PA that's running your affairs. They're not running our affairs in any way, shape, or form. It has been the cheapest occupation in the history of the human race. They occupy us, they pillage our lands, and they torture us on a daily basis for free, pretty much. It doesn't cost them anything. They just have those warlords running their bidding in terms of suppressing the Palestinians. And it will take a while for Palestinians to get up again and start resisting the Israeli occupation. But things are not going our way in general. They're not. They're just simply not.
I almost feel like you need like a young person in their 30s and 40s who's maybe an expat, like, has a deep connection to Palestine, lived there, was educated outside.
We are a very tough cookie kind of people, okay? It's not easy to rule us. I know. We have learned all this stuff, by through doing the occupation for so many years. So even if you bring, I don't know who the fuck comes in, unless they run for office and they're decent and they're not corrupt.
Unfortunately, more violence in the city. So far, at
I
least
would
40
do it by eating my salad right now.
You're doing what?
I said I would do it, and that I'm eating my salad right now, so
Yeah,
I'm busy.
you would last here about a day and a half. If you declare yourself a leader of anything, you will last about a day and a half.
Yeah, Edward.
I'll give you 2 days.
Oh, yeah, I will be such a good leader, they would love me.
Yeah, right.
I would dress like a chef, yeah, they would love me.
Edward, are you prepared to eat mujadra?
أنا الناس بيحطوش واطي لحدا. None. I don't give a shit who you are. I wouldn't care. Just don't care.
Sorry.
Do you think Edward would be a good leader, Jim?
Edward, you're gonna have to do more than sing "Ana Dammi Falastini."
I'll dance too.
Yeah, that does not work. It's not gonna work.
So you need a secular person that believes in secularism, right? Not the religious.
Yeah, we need to function in a democracy. We need to function just like the Israelis do. If we get there, and if we have a real, like a democracy like Israel does with parties and some sort of freedom and so on and so forth, yes, it would work. But if you just bring somebody from outside, or you just prop somebody up who's corrupt, it's not gonna work.
So what's your take on this? So he's coming to DC, right? I think tomorrow. Now he doesn't want Hamas. He doesn't want PA to control Gaza.
He is in America to collect. He wants to collect whatever he has done over the last couple of years. Things are changing on the ground dramatically in many ways. He wants to get what he wanted to get, basically. What are they cooking for Gaza? I'm not really sure, but whatever they're cooking, it's not gonna function. It's not gonna work. And let's not kid ourselves. They whatever forces Hamas has in Gaza has been, they've been hurt very bad. The Palestinian people in general, I don't think they will accept the idea that they live under rule of an entity like Hamas. So things are very fluid, but Netanyahu is in the U.S. to collect on the things that he's done over the last couple of years in terms of Iran, in terms of expanding whatever he wants to expand, in terms of Saudi Arabia. That's another big prize that he is
How did you make the conclusion that Palestinians are just gonna watch that?
Well, they're not. They might vote them into office, but would they?
No. You made a statement. When you
Uh-huh.
your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, you might think so, but
I can bring evidence that's showing that they are the most, that's actual purpose of it, that they are the most popular faction.
they are. They are. I told you, if they ran for office today, they might win. But for how long? They can be in office for 4 years, but after 4 years,
For how long that could be said about any democracy.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. One of the mistakes, one of the fatal mistakes that Palestinians or the Americans and the Israelis did is they chased him out of power in 2006. If they let them be, and if they ran the government, they could have been voted out, a few years later. But Palestinians in general are not willing, in general, the majority of Palestinians are not willing to live by the rules of Hamas, unless, unless they govern in a very effective way. And their issue is, usually, people don't care just about it. We don't know.
Guys, I figured it out.
We've never experienced as Palestinians.
Hamas.
Because not all Palestinians live by the rule of Hamas. They did not rule. They were never given a chance to govern.
There's no
I don't
friend.
understand. What does Hamas government look like?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know how it looks like. Remember when they formed the government after they won the election in 2006? I thought they would be okay. They would be fine. And if they went through the cycle, if they didn't deliver on their agenda, unless they want, if you live by the idea of everything is religious, everything is ruled by the religious decree, things do not function. People will resent that. People in general resent that.
Okay, Jindib, I have some presidential candidates. I asked ChatGPT to solve this for us. Are you ready to hear the candidates who came up with President Palestine? Yalla, here we go. Number 1, Salam Fayyad, former Prime Minister, economist, and former World Bank.
Who's recommending this, ChatGPT?
Yeah, he put a lot of people in debt, so I don't think he would.
Okay. Saad, next. Hanan Ashrawi. You know him?
Her. It's her. She would not even entertain the idea.
Female Saad, next. Mustafa Barghouti.
Maybe.
We got it.
There's potential there.
Twice. Mustafa Barghouti going 3 times. Prince.
Yeah,
Moving forward and stalling.
I mean, there's potential there.
You can't do it on its own. You accept
No.
Okay, we have Barghouti, number 3. Marwan Barghouti, but he's in jail.
Yeah, but he is I think he would be number 1 though.
Okay, khalas, we fixed it. Mustafa Barghouti.
If they no. The one that's in jail.
So ChatGPT has 3 names. That's it, just 3 names.
Well, it said Jindib. I don't know how it came up with Jindib.
Yeah, right, sure.
But Ron is in prison, but they say that he would unify the Palestinians.
By now, he's an old.
What do you think, Jindib?
Yeah, he's an old guy by now.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of influence. He is an original character. He is not compromised. He's not corrupt. And I have a feeling sometimes that the PA really want him to stay in jail, like Abbas and his.
Oh, they do. Yeah, Hamas wants him released, and he, yeah.
He would work with Hamas pretty okay. I know that.
I asked for 3 more names. Yalla.
And
Nasser Al-Kidwa,
yeah, okay.
Bassam Salihi,
Yeah.
sorry. And Fadi Salami.
Oh, Fadi Salamin is like an immature kid who lives in DC. No, he's a no.
Okay, khalas. So we have some candidates, guys. Yalla, Edward.
We have 2.
Fadi Salamin was groomed by the Israelis, by the way. he actually holds it as well.
Okay, so,
Yeah. No, we have two. Mustafa and Marwan. But Marwan would be number one. At least I think Palestinian would accept him. And he is genuine. He's known to be credible, honorable. Everyone likes him, respects him. And if Israel lets him out of prison, then he would be the new face of the Palestinian people.
okay, go to work, guys. Lobby your local politician.
Well, Hamas is working on getting him released. That's one of their main, one of the main conditions is he's included, or supposed to be included in the release, and Israel keeps trying to get him out of the pool of candidates. So Hamas is
I was trying
trying
to be the ambassador to Lebanon for Palestine. Or the ambassador to Palestine for
Put some
Lebanon.
more.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but don't come and try to tell us that you don't know how to cook.
Oh, I expect.
Okay, music anyway.
I'm not doing it for the money, by the way, in case you're wondering.
We want to start a YouTube channel. See? Lebanese people can't help it.
I'm not competitive. And the pigeons, yeah, I saw this pigeon weeds, but
Okay, I've never technically had that. The gin did. How is it?
That is what.
Hammam from Street.
They rarely do it. I saw that in Egypt, they eat a lot of fucking pigeons, but not here.
Now, are they the same as the New York pigeons? Are they a different breed?
No, there's many different breeds of pigeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the New York ones are like flying rats.
No, those are domesticated pigeons and people raise them, farm them. I mean, usually in their homes or something, but it's not a wildlife.
Have you ever had them?
Yes, I have.
How is it?
Very good.
Yes. Have you had lizard?
Lizard?
Yeah, like Saudi Arabia.
Lizard?
Alright.
I've had crocodile. Or croc.
Well, that is a lizard, but how is it?
Well, it's okay. It's like chicken. It's okay.
Really?
Bunch of
Shouldn't
bits
it
of
be
it.
camel? I want to eat camel.
No, actually, I've never had camel. And I refuse to eat camel, actually.
Why?
I can't eat them because they're smart.
No, actually, I don't know. I just, no, I wouldn't.
Dude,
I heard it was delicious. I've never had it, but I also heard, in Saudi, I don't know how true this is. I heard in Saudi Arabia, the camels that they have, like the camels in the Middle East and the camels that they have like in Australia, I think they get them from Australia, are a different breed of camels. So the Australian ones are like feral.
She used to be my friend.
And
I
those
regret
are the ones that
everything of
they
it.
import into
She
Saudi
is the
Arabia to eat.
biggest,
They
disgusting
don't eat their own camels.
sounds like
They're
Yeah,
just smart.
politics.
sounds like
And I'm not just saying that as a pejorative. Let me be precise here.
Yeah, and they're different.
that sounds like a Saudi 100%.
Well, because who told me about it was a Saudi. He said they're different. So they're not the same type of camel. They don't have the same intelligence. They're camels, but like cousins, And but they say it's delicious. I don't think I would ever try it, but they say it's delicious.
By the way, like I've been around a lot of camels, but I've never heard them described as intelligent.
They have a good memory. They also
They do have good memory, and
they'll kick your ass if you piss them off, and they'll remember.
Instance in murder, yes, they do. If you post them and torture them, or if you